The Absolute Comics Group is adding a new title to their shared universe of comic books, this latest one titled Resilient. It is scheduled to hit the shelves of local comic book shops on June 31st, and that is what I'm going to be talking about and reviewing in today's video. Now, if you don't already know, my name is Trinity. Welcome back to Second Street. Thank you all so much for being here today. Now, in case you have never heard me flap my gums about the Absolute Comics Group, I'm not really sure where you've been. They've got a lot of great titles, most of which I read. They've got great books like White Widow, Amped, I Make Boys Cry, Wayward Legends, Wayward Sons, Darkon, and now this latest one titled Resilient. Resilient is written and created by George Michail. It's got art by Vinz El Tabanas. It's lettered by Nikki Powers, and it is edited by Powell. Now, this book opens up with kind of a violent scene, and you're not really for sure quite what's going on here, as you see this woman with cybernetic arms standing there with this katana after it looks like she has just fought her way through an army full of men. Well, at least a small army anyway. And then we get a little bit of a flashback where we meet our main character here named Jolanda and her husband Colm, as we can see that they are having some problems, just things that happen trying to start a family, and they are there trying to get some assistance in trying to have children, and things have once again gone bad, and we kind of get just a little bit of introduction to these characters as we see that later on they decide that they want to go take a vacation, kind of get away from it all, and what they want to do since they've just kind of been having these things, they want to kind of just de-stress and go out and just kind of get away from it all and do something good. And what they want to do is they want to go to Cambodia and help disarm a lot of these mines, these fields where all these mines are at, where children and people are still dying to them still being detonated. So that's where they decide to go and spend their time. Now, in the meantime, we also see that there is this young woman who is in Mexico. She's sitting there just having a good time in Tijuana, drinking and partying with her friends, when she witnesses a murder and has it on camera. And these mobsters, these gangsters, end up tracking her down and trying to get her and the evidence and probably dispose of her, probably going to kill her. And her friends end up kind of getting into a bigger situation than they had bargained for, and certainly some of the gangsters here did as well. Now, we also see, we flash back to Jolanda and her husband Colm as they go on their vacation. And while they are there on their vacation, something kind of tragic happens that leaves us on this cliffhanger at the very end of the book. Issue number 1 ends in a way that leaves me wanting to read the second issue. And that's something for me that I think is really big in a lot of comic books that I read nowadays. There's a lot of times where I read a comic book and I get done with it, especially a number 1 or a number 2 should leave me, both of them, feeling like I want to read the next book. But not a lot of books do that these days. Some of them just kind of leave like, yeah, I'll read the next one. But this one really got me with the characters, the way they developed. I kind of felt like I also have a little bit of connection to this too, because I have some friends who kind of went through some of these similar situations, and just some of the other things going on in this book. I've really enjoyed this one. Now, I've got to say, altogether, I thought this issue number 1 was absolutely great. The art in this book is very good. The colors are very good. It's well lettered, and the story flows very good. Also, the book kind of opens up with this little dialogue that it kind of reminds me almost like it almost reminds me of like Kill Bill, but maybe a little bit of 300. And again, they are doing something different here. I mean, that's not what this book is about at all, but it just kind of reminds me that it's got the writer here, George Michail, goes through and kind of uses some of the pop culture references and just different things like that, kind of drawing from to bring into this story and make it a little bit and make it a little fun. Altogether, I thought this book is really excellent. Definitely worth checking out, and I think it's going to fit in to this shared universe of the Absolute Comics Group really, really well. I did get a chance to read this book already, in case you can't tell, from the writer George Michail, who did send me out a copy to bring this review for you all so I can tell you about it, so you can get out to your local comic book shop and make sure that you pick this up. I believe the FOC date on this is in the new previews this month, and I believe the ending date on that is, I want to say, the 20th of May here. So you still got a little bit of time to get this on your comic book pull list, so your comic book shop can get it in for you, so you don't have to wait for it. They will have 3 different covers available. They've got one at, I believe, $3.99. It might be $4.99. They've got another one at $9.99, and they have a lenticular at $19.99. Now, I did recently interview the writer George Michail here a couple of weeks ago, and they did a Kickstarter for this, and if you took advantage of that, they actually even had some really nice covers as well that you could have got exclusively through the Kickstarter. Just some very, very good books. And the people over there at the Absolute Comics Group, like I said, I've kind of, I've had some, I guess I've dealt with these guys a few times, been lucky enough to read a lot of their titles. They did, the one of the big guys over there, kind of the creator of the Absolute Comics Group, I guess I would say, is Benny Powell. He sent me out a lot of their books, the PDFs, to read and review here on the channel, and I have really enjoyed every single one of their books and titles that they have out, and I have put them on my comic book pull list, and I do have them here, just over here in my comic books, just added in my collection. But you can sometimes go to Kickstarter and fund some of these through crowdfunding, get some of those exclusive covers, but you can also go to the local comic book shop and put these on your pull list and get them in as well, because they do, while they do like serving their customers and getting directly out there with their customers through things like the crowdfunding books, they do also really enjoy supporting the local comic book shops in that way by making sure that they can get these into your hands the easiest way possible for the lowest price possible. Because let's face it, crowdfunding comics, it can be expensive, and getting out to your local comic book shop is a little easier and more accessible for all of us. And as I said, I think this book is very good, very much worth that $3.99, $4.99 tag that it's going to have on it. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about this review, and if Resilient sounds like a book that you might be interested in, and let me know if you are going to put this comic book on your pull list at your local comic book shop. I'll make sure that in the description of this video that I also leave, like, there's, they have like an item number or something on there, or maybe I'll leave it here on the screen somewhere, where you can take it to your local comic book shop and make sure that they get you the right book put on order. But that's all I have for this video today, folks. Thank you all so much for tuning into the Second Street Marvel. If you're not already, please make sure you're subscribed, click the little bell and all of that good stuff. Give this video a thumbs if you like it. Give it a thumbs down if you don't. It's okay, you're not going to hurt my feelings. But while you're at it, make sure that you also share it with a friend and invite them to come hang out with us here on the Second Street Marvel. You all have a very good day, and we'll see you in the next video.